Rikers Island, New York's massive jail complex just a few miles from Midtown Manhattan and scene of a humanitarian crisis.
What are some words you'd use to describe Rikers Island?
Hell. Plain and simple, hell.
Benji Lozano recently spent 5 months in Rikers, serving the remaining sentence from a 1997 assault conviction after his recent parole from decades in state prison on a separate conviction.
What do you see in these pictures?
I see myself. I see everything that I experienced while I was at Rikers Island. I see inhumane conditions. I mean, look at that. It's ridiculous.
Photos obtained by the New York Post last fall show detainees jammed in a holding area. Lozano says he spent weeks living like this.
Feces all over the wall, unoperable restrooms, toilets would not flush, the sinks would not work. It was disgusting.
And you might be surprised who agrees with him.
People were living in inhumane conditions.
Until last month, Vincent Schiraldi was in charge of Rikers Island.
No recreation, health care was not available to people because we couldn't get them to their doctor's appointments.
Violence, he says, was rampant. NBC News recently obtained more than 100 hours of surveillance video from inside Rikers. City officials don't contest the contents of the video. Scenes like this, an attempted knifing averted by an officer, and an inmate organized so-called fight night where some detainees were forced to participate.
Who was running the place?
The inmates run the facilities.
I wrote to all the judges and all the district attorneys and said, I cannot guarantee the safety of people that get sent here.
Schiraldi says one of the most pressing problems, a union contract that gives officers unlimited sick time. He points out that of the nearly 8,000 officers at Rikers, up to a third don't show up on any given day. For 6 years, Serena Townsend was in charge of investigating misconduct at the jail.
People were calling out sick, and then when we would go and check on them, they were not actually at home sick, they were out.
Last month, Townsend was fired by the newly appointed commissioner after she says he instructed her to get rid of 2,000 disciplinary cases against officers within 100 days, and she refused. The city denies Townsend's claims.
I investigated every type of act of misconduct, and I have to say that a lot of what I saw in those cases are things that are happening that could have been prevented if we had staff in the jails.
Benny Bossio, the union president representing officers, accuses Townsend of being overzealous in her discipline of officers who were trying to do an impossible job.
We have officers that are out sick. 1,500 correction officers have been assaulted in the last year. We have officers dealing with long-term effects of COVID, being sexually assaulted. So, you know, this notion that we're out on purpose is just nonsense.
Finger pointing aside, everyone agrees that Rikers is horribly broken.
And whose fault is all that?
I think it's an administrative fault. It is the fault of people who run the system and people who are in elected positions.
New York plans to close Rikers by 2027. Meantime, a City Hall spokesperson says under new Corrections Commissioner Louis Molina, more than 1,000 officers are back at work and many are now working normal hours again. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.